Hello, 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 and welcome to another dangerous podcast. I'm your host, Ian Alley Seals, here with at least two of my fearless co-host compatriots. I'm flanked by John and Jules. How are you doing, gentlemen?
Great.
I'm doing as well as you don't even have to ask me that. I mean, you want to know how well I'm doing? Look at how well Dogecoin is doing. I'm only doing as well as Dogecoin is doing. That's how sad my life is right now. That's how fucking sad it is. I get into this crypto shit like moments before like crypto Black Friday, which we had this week. So yeah, I'll be living on one of your couches pretty soon.
I've got a couch. You're welcome to it. We just bought my son a new bed. It's pretty big. You can share it with him.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. Uncle John's moving in.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that, John. Like the crypto didn't do what you wanted it to do.
Well, it was going great up until I got into it. So of course, everyone's becoming millionaires off the shit and everything. And I go in and crypto Black Friday happens. So fuck this shit.
It's very
when
simple.
Jason gets on, I'm going to choke him because he's the one who got me into this lifestyle. Yeah.
I have a simple trading strategy for you, John.
Hit me.
When everybody in the world is saying get into crypto, sell, and when everybody is saying get the hell out of crypto, buy.
Well, I mean, who counts for everybody? I mean, it's like my nerdy friends were. It wasn't like people like at work were or like regular people out in the world. You're kind of right because it's in the news, and Mark Cuban and Elon Musk is telling everyone.
Right.
And now they got these platforms where it's so accessible for just laymen to get it. So you're probably right. That's the time to probably get the fuck out.
Yeah, I've been seeing completely normal people on Facebook pretending that they're like, Wall Street traders, and they've got like charts and graphs with little arrows and crazy conspiracy lines and things.
Right.
It's kind of it's out of control. It's like there was like the literal height of the housing bubble in the early 2000s was exactly when like I think both Time and Newsweek had covers of being like housing will always go up or something like ridiculous. Like, and that was it.
Or the internet bubble. Remember what like. Remember when Windows 95 came out and a few years later everybody had an internet business and was making money off of that, and then just fucking overnight it was calamity, and like that's how I feel this is. Well, and there will be things left over. Bitcoin will be around, Ethereum will be around, Dogecoin isn't going to be around. The thing is like I went into it and it's like I made a few $100s and it was like. And I'm not greedy. I can make a few $100s and get out and be happy. But it's like, am I stupid for going out now? Everyone's gonna like.
I don't know. Like, all right. So here's what I know. Like, which is nothing. I know nothing.
You and everybody else.
Like at my job, there were a number of people who would literally walk down the halls of this school that I teach in, saying to every other teacher, buy crypto, buy crypto, buy crypto. I'm exactly like that. Isn't like a euphemism.
That's when you get out. See, they weren't doing.
That was literally what it was. And there was this one of my colleagues told a story of how did he say it? He's like, I had a friend who got way into crypto a few years ago. Why didn't he tell me about this? Why didn't he tell me? He's not a good friend. Maybe I wouldn't have listened to him, but why didn't he tell me? So I'm telling all of you, buy crypto. And I was actually re-listening to our podcast from a few weeks ago, episode, the film.
The film, yeah.
And that was the first episode where you start talking about crypto. And listening to that episode, I'm like, God, John's really convincing me. I know I'm getting left out. I know I'm being left out of all of it.
You're getting left out of losing all your money. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and on this, like what you said, Jules, about people on the internet acting like they're professional stockbrokers. Professional stockbrokers don't know what they're doing.
No, they don't. You're right. No, they can take educated guesses. Oh, this company's doing this, but it doesn't even Howard Stern was talking about.
But you're not going to have like a model. I mean, the point is you can have like a model. You can like look at things like, you can look at like, there was this guy who I met at a Bitcoin conference, who had predicted that this stock was going to go down, and he did that because they owned malls, and he went to the malls, and they were all empty. You know what I mean? That's a thing you can do, you know what I mean, in the real world, to be like, aha, nobody knows that all the malls they own are empty and horrible and like just falling apart. And then you can be like, haha, now I know some information I can trade on that. Nobody knows what Elon Musk is going to tweet today. You know what I mean? Like that's not like a thing you can anticipate and like, have a career based on. Unless there is a difference
between the X factor here is Dogecoin, because Dogecoin is really all of them have a utility to them. They're all basically are software, and they're as good as their software, and they're improving upon it. That's why there's so many coins and not just crypto. Doge has no business being in the conversation at all, except that it was made by a meme, and there's a dog on it. And then celebrities are talking about it. That's all of it.
But it works.
And it's only it is peaked at 70 cents. It's not like
I'm not saying that Dogecoin is a good idea as an investment, but I will point out that it does in fact work. That I can send you $20, John, in Dogecoin, and you will get $20. What it will do 5 minutes later, we don't know. But the point is it still has that utility of being able to send it from one person to another.
I don't think I'll get $20. I think there's pretty hefty fees attached to it right now. But Elon Musk is saying that he has like his own developers working with them to come up with like something better. They're going to have a Dogecoin 2.0 at some point.
He needs to work on the lunar lander. Okay. He needs to work. He got the contract to make the lunar lander. He needs to work on the lunar lander. Let me just put that. Instead of worrying about Dogecoin.
Speaking of lunar landers,
we have to go to the actual
there's
moon.
Jason.
Jason!
Hey!
Fun fact, he doesn't care.
Yeah, I mean, I'm late, whatever.
we were just talking about how you're gonna get me thrown out of my house.
Crypto's not doing what
forcing me to throw all my money into crypto. Thanks, Jason. I suppose you're gonna feed my kids.
I've seen it. Jason literally drove up to John's house with a gun and said, "Buy crypto."
He might as well have.
That's what he did, and that's called friendship.
He was basically like, "Do you like money? Do you like free money? Well, buy Dogecoin. What's the problem? What's your fucking problem? Or don't if you don't like money. I don't care. We're all getting rich except for you." This week we were talking about it was Black Friday for crypto, and
there were several dips as we had discussed on the side.
It's probably more than a dip, though, wouldn't you say? Like,
there was a few of them. There was a dip and another one, and
right. So and they're always saying buy the dip, but like it kept fucking dipping. It's like I did buy the dip, and then that wasn't the dip. It was like that was kind of a peak. And then and then you buy more, and then it's so low, and it's like you spent all your money, and it's like fuck, what do I do? It's like so cheap, and I know it's going to go up.
So is now the time for me to buy Dogecoin?
That's what I think.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, you'd be an idiot not to throw all your money into Dogecoin right now.
I mean, do I like money?
Do you? Money? I mean, only if you don't like money, then don't do it.
Sure, we all do.
But it's not for everybody. It's for people who like money and want free money thrown at them. But if you're not that kind of guy, then by all means, don't invest in it.
I mean, John, Jules, Jason, yes. I want to be that guy. I want to be that guy that likes money and makes money. Is this what's going to do that?
I think so, with patience.
Okay.
So there's always
Is Jason cutting out? Is your sound okay, Jason?
No, my laptop that I have here has a horrible audio system to begin with.
Okay.
I tried to load up my MacBook, but I'm having a problem with it that I have not figured out how to resolve yet. A program crashed and froze. I could not force quit. When I hold down the power button to try to force down the laptop, it says you cannot force down the laptop because this program is open. So I let the battery drain out. All right, battery drained out. I plugged it back in, booted it up. It went right back to the desktop with that frozen program.
Oh.
So everyone, we have now exited the podcast Dangerous Crypto. We have now joined the podcast Dangerous Tech Support.
That's right.
That podcast is already in progress.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you about my DNS problems today, Jason. I'm sure the audience will be very pleased to hear about that.
Don't keep us in suspense, Jules.
Hmm?
Don't keep us in suspense.
I'm not going to talk about DNS. I'm not. No.
DNS.
So you guys...
Yeah, no, I'm going to stop him right here.
All right, but we're not going
good.
to do that.
Thanks for stopping me before this got even worse.
Yeah. Instead, are we going to talk about the movie we're here to talk about? Are we going to talk about Firewalker?
We're going to talk about Firewalker, Texas Ranger.
Talk about the lounge people because that's another.
I'm genuinely disappointed that we couldn't find the lounge people.
I know. I think we
Again,
have to.
It has big Hollywood actors in it. It has B.D. Wong, Amanda
my friend.
Palmer. I mean, it has Buck Henry. How does this movie just not exist anymore?
I don't know. But
Ian needs to remind people that he was brought up in a bed and breakfast, and B.D. Wong was a guest there and helped you with your homework.
He did.
What a guy.
He did. He's my friend. Yeah. He raised me. B.D. Wong raised me.
Basically,
Let's call it what it is. Like, really, I own everything I know from B.D. Wong. He pulled me off the streets and set me on the path. Right.
He got you out of that gang you were in.
He did. He did.
Yeah.
That multi-ethnic street gang that he was in.
Right.
And
he was in a movie that was so quirky and out there. It's like if you look at the reviews online, there's people giving it 8-9 stars, but there's just as many people giving it 1 or 2 stars. And the movie is so out there, it's really hard to put your fingers on. And Ian, I'd be especially curious, since you're a director, what your take would be on it. And also, as B.D. Wong's personal friend, and that he raised you and rescued you from the streets.
Yeah, from my interracial street gang. Yeah. Well, first of all, let me give BD a
It was
call.
the Get Along gang he was in.
Shoot him.
Yeah, ask B.D. Wong if he has a copy.
Yeah,
that obviously will work. You know,
he's got to have a VHS lying around.
For his
somewhere,
demo
right?
reel, you know. For the
Can I
people
tell
who
you a
don't
quick
know
story?
who B.D. Wong is, he has a special demo reel that he shows people.
So,
Can I tell you?
B.D.
before
Wong,
we get into can I tell you a quick story?
At restaurants, he's got this demo reel with the lounge people. He comes up, he says, "I would like a table at Sardi's, and here's my demo reel for the lounge people." But more in fact, I mean, that's on his Oscar reel, right? He's got the lounge people on his Oscar reel. That he's
Oscar reel.
Yeah, you know that year when he sent out his submissions for the Oscars, he must have his stuff from the lounge people at that point.
Oh yeah.
So Jason, we didn't watch it because apparently no human being can watch it.
We need an intern for this podcast.
Did you guys see the Reddit
intern
thread?
and they can dig this stuff up? You know what I mean? They can like pound pavement and get out there and find this stuff. Where'd everybody go?
When you guys were looking up for it online, did you see the Reddit thread where there was a guy looking for it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did see that. I did.
Oh my God! So Jason, what was the basic plot of Lounge People?
All right, there's a really eccentric, wealthy guy who got his own island. Now he lives on his island. It's him and his wife and the staff on the island. They get bored. He and his wife are like drifted apart. She just kind of lounges around at the pool all the time. He gets this idea to put on his own production of Moby Dick, and he kind of like ropes his staff who works around the house, like the housekeeper and the pool boy, to be in his Moby Dick. B.D. Wong actually plays an undercover journalist who is curious about this weird eccentric guy on the island and goes undercover as a pool boy.
Okay.
Why didn't we watch
That
that?
sounds good. I know. This sounds really interesting.
Yeah, I want to see this movie now.
Yeah. And I must point out, far more interesting than
That
the $1 million
doesn't- that actually
policy
doesn't-
cut.
That's
Can we do a remake of that film?
Yeah, let's get the rights.
We'll have to do it off of my fuzzy memory from 1991.
Yeah.
Oh my god! How amazing would that be if you did a movie just based on somebody's memory of what happened in the movie?
That would be good.
I think you're onto something here. That's a great.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow.
Who do we know that has an island?
Jason Epstein. He's not using it either.
Jeffrey's brother, you mean?
But anyway, but that's not the movie we got to see this week. We didn't watch The Lounge Peoples. We watched Firewalker, starring
Chuck Norris and Louis Gossett Jr.
Chuck Norris and Lou Gossett Jr., everybody. And I find it's almost uncomfortable to talk about this film. And no one from the younger generations understands this, but there was a while where Chuck Norris ruled the internet. Chuck Norris memes ruled the internet.
Yep.
Ruled the internet. Chuck Norris jokes.
Chuck Norris facts.
Chuck Norris facts. That's right.
Was, when Chuck Norris falls in water, he doesn't get wet. Water gets Chuck Norris.
Oh, we're not going down that road. No. I'm stopping that
When
right
Chuck
there.
Norris does a push-up,
Not
he's
doing
actually
Chuck Norris.
pushing down the earth. How did that happen, by the way? When did the Chuck Norris stuff
I'll tell you exactly when it happened. Has anybody here watched Walker, Texas Ranger?
No.
Yeah.
Not all the way through.
Like that is like it's not a movie, it's a TV show, but it is the most ridiculous fucking thing you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
He's like this kung fu cowboy, Texas Ranger cop, and like he knows kung fu for no reason in Texas. And it's just crazy.
But he gets into fights with bad guys like every day and kicks like 20 dudes' asses.
Yeah.
And one thing that always got me about Walker Texas Rangers, like there's some dudes who he'd punch really hard or hit a few times, and they'd be, if that were real, they'd be done. But they like fall down and get right back up after being hit repeatedly, and they're ready to go again. And there's other times where he punches someone once and they just like die.
Sure.
I do know some interesting facts about Chuck Norris, though. Do you know his real name is Carlos?
I did not know that.
He's Carlos Norris.
This is all I really know. This is all I really know about Chuck Norris is the fact that, kidding aside, like you have all of these memes, all of these jokes about how badass Chuck Norris is. All I know is that in reality, he was a badass. That like Chuck Norris is an incredible martial artist, very well respected.
He was world champion in the height of it all.
I'm not even kidding. At the dojo where I study, there is a picture of the head sensei like with his arm around Chuck Norris on the wall.
Yeah.
That's how you know you have a good sensei. If they don't have the Chuck Norris picture, turn around and walk out.
There used to, when I was growing up, there used to be a saying called the camera never lies, and that nobody ever said that after the invention of Photoshop. So yeah, I don't think there's any dojo anywhere where the owner or the sensei doesn't have their arm around Chuck Norris or Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan. You'll find out.
But there we get to the point I was going to make. Is one of the few things I know about Chuck Norris is that he worked with Bruce Lee. He sparred with Bruce Lee. They were good friends. I mean, he's in Enter the Dragon and everything like that. But Bruce Lee thought he was a badass. There's this one story about like when he was coming up with Jokundo, and Bruce Lee was writing this whole thing about how no one should do high kicks. No one should do high kicks. They're stupid. They're a waste of energy.
I'm told that in a real world self-defense situation, it's not practical. You kick low and take out the knee.
Yeah, he's like, don't do it. And then Chuck Norris said to him, because they're friends, he's like, yeah, but Bruce, I like doing high kicks. And he said, oh yeah, well you can do them.
Here's the thing.
Chuck Norris can do them. None of
All
you
right,
else.
give me
can
a
do
second
them.
here.
Yeah.
Give me a second. So here's the thing. There is some controversy. There is some question whether Bruce Lee is legitimate or not. Nobody's questioning his martial arts skills. They're exceptional. They're probably the best in the world. But he was an actor. He was a movie star. There's no debate with Chuck Norris.
There's videos on YouTube because there wasn't YouTube in Bruce Lee's day, so maybe the videos didn't go around. But on YouTube, there's videos of Bruce Lee losing fights.
Yeah.
So there's one fight where and it was nobody was really there except for three people, and it was Bruce Lee was opening dojos and he was training white people, and the Japanese people were all mad at him, and he was like, I'll do whatever I want. And so this guy challenged him to a fight who was supposed to be super good. There was only three people there, and they all have conflicting tales. One of them says Bruce Lee killed him in the second. The other one says it was a draw, and the other one says the other guy won. So there's debate. There's no debate with Chuck Norris. He had legitimate. He was a competitor, and he was the world champion.
And that's why I gotta say, I think the first Chuck Norris film I've ever actually watched. I don't think
I haven't seen.
Yeah, Albert's been throwing out a bunch of messages.
He agrees with me. Chuck was the real deal, and I'm not saying Bruce Lee wasn't. I don't think they've asked Chuck Norris that, and he doesn't really give a straight answer. I don't even think he knows, because Bruce Lee was never in like legitimate fighting competitions. He was an actor, and he studied martial arts, but he wasn't like competing in competitions like Chuck Norris was with something on the line.
Yeah.
That's how you find out how good you are.
Yeah, Albert just said, no, Chuck was the real deal. I agree with him being a legitimate martial artist like Steven Seagal, but for real. And thank you, Albert, because that brings up the point I want to make about this movie.
Like Steven Seagal, but not a sex trafficker.
This is the point I want to make is I want to make a comparison between a somewhat, not exactly similar, but a film that has similar tropes that we have seen on Deadly Ground.
Yes.
All right?
That came to mind while I was watching.
There are similarities between these films. They're very different, but there are similarities, which we will get to. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say, while I found this film problematic and at worst boring, I could not like it. And I could not stand on Dangerous Ground. And I want to go to why is that? Why is the problematic material in this film? I'm like, whatever. Everybody's having a good time. Versus Steven Seagal film, I'm like, this is inexcusable in this film, and everyone in it. Michael Caine.
He's inexcusable.
Yeah. So here we are. So this Chuck Norris movie, I have never seen a Delta Force movie. I've seen Enter the Dragon, but I've never seen a Chuck Norris vehicle before. So this is my first time in here. I was surprised.
Let me stop you. Wait, before we get going with this.
Yeah.
This is not a Chuck. This was a movie where he was trying to break away from what he's used to. He considered a comedy. And you can't even tell because he has such bad comedic.
No, but it's a comedy. It's totally a comedy. And you want to know how you know? Because he has no comic timing, but you know who does? Lou Gossett Jr.
No, he doesn't either. No, he doesn't. But you know who this made me appreciate though? Who? Arnold Schwarzenegger. Great comedic timing. It really made me appreciate. That's the thing about the show and the movies we watch. It makes me appreciate not what we watch, but other people. It's like who actually do it right.
Sure.
He was an action star, and Chuck Norris should have really, he had a lot more advantages than Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger's big and dumb, and just nobody knows what the fuck he's saying half the time, and but he became a really legitimate great actor. He had great comedic timing, all of that. Chuck Norris, there was no fight. The thing about Chuck, it's when I started watching this, and it was like, When's he gonna fucking kick somebody? Fucking kick, you know, it's fucking Chuck
What?
Norris. He didn't kick anybody.
He kicked multiple people, and nowhere near as many people as he should have.
Not like a Chuck, not like a
It took a
legitimate
while,
Chuck.
like, it was-
All he's doing in a Chuck Norris movie is kicking. He's in Delta Force and he's like jumping out of airplanes, kicking fucking people. That's a fucking Chuck Norris
They
movie.
dragged this one out for a while before there was a fight.
Everybody, we're falling into a dangerous podcast trap. We're 25 minutes in. Talking about
Let's see what Albert has to say.
and everything like that, and we haven't explained what the movie is. I'm going to Albert just messaged us. Albert said he'd make sure to cast other competitive martial artists like Benny the Jet, how do you say that last name, Urquidez, as the evil karate guy. And martial arts was big enough then that there was an audience who would recognize people like Benny and knew his kicks would unmake you. He also says he kicked a ton of Native Americans. This whole movie needs sensitivity.
And can we talk about the overt racism in this? And I'm not
yeah,
one
my
to, like,
goodness.
We're gonna get there.
But-
So let's start. Let's
all
start.
right.
Let's start.
Getting ahead of
So
myself.
this film, can we say this right now, is their take on Indiana Jones, right?
Yeah.
No, I would say more Romancing the Stone.
Well, there was an Indiana Jones actor in this movie.
Sorry,
Yes, there
Jason.
was. There was.
Maybe a
was
cross,
Indiana
maybe a
Jones.
cross between the two. Is that fair?
Yeah.
That's exactly what the reviewer in the Chicago Tribune said about this movie from the 80s, was that he said it was a combination of Raiders of the Lost Ark and Romancing the Stone. I think he was wrong. This is clearly Temple of Doom and Romancing the Stone, but I'll give him that.
Sure.
You're right. Temple
Where
of Doom, Romancing the Stone.
And John, I'm gonna say this, and I do understand the flack that I'm going to get.
Go ahead, take it like a man.
If there's one likable thing for me in this film, it is specifically the pairing of Chuck Norris and Lou Gossett Jr. First of all, are people going to debate me here and say that Lou Gossett Jr. isn't a great actor? Louis Gossett Jr. Everybody, no. Louis Gossett
No,
Jr.
he's not a great actor.
What are you talking about?
He's
man?
not a great actor.
Officer and a Gentleman.
Okay. He was really good in Officer and a Gentleman. I'll absolutely give you that. He's not a good sidekick, I don't think.
No. He is not. And
you agree with me on that? He wasn't a good fucking sidekick.
Yeah. I do.
You guys ever see the movie where Lou Gossett Jr. plays an alien and
Yes.
Dennis Quaid is a human?
No.
Yes.
That would be
Enemy Mine.
Yes.
Do you remember seeing the Iron Eagle movies?
I was going to say,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah. I'm not a huge
I didn't
Iron
do those.
Eagle fan, but like, in any case, one of the things I like about this film is I like Chuck Norris and Lou Gossett Jr. together, not because they have great chemistry or like buddy friend, whatever you got going on here. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, hey, where did everybody go?
I did
I
not.
don't know.
I'm experimenting here.
He's being a director.
When somebody's talking solo, I'm going to zoom in on him. Go ahead.
Wow.
For those people listening at home, which is
Powerful
happening,
technology.
we're doing a live broadcast here as we always do, and John is messing with the camera angle, so it's only me talking, and that was Jason. I know this is so exciting on the podcast end of it, but anyway, what I thought when I'm watching this is that Chuck Norris, the actor, and Louis Gossett Jr., the actor, liked hanging around with each other. And we're having a good time in this set. Like, they're going all around the world. They're going to exotic locations. And they're palling around. And I found that enjoyable to watch. Whereas I assumed that everyone in every way during On Dangerous Ground wished they could get out. That everyone in that movie, at every moment they're on screen, is looking at the clock saying, how much longer under contract do I have to be doing this bullshit? And in this film, I thought they were having a good time. So,
one of the weird things that this movie makes clear is that, like, some degree of chemistry between the actors can actually convey can carry the entire thing, because this script is garbage in terms of its dialogue. I mean, it is total garbage.
Yeah, it's really bad.
And so you've just got two reasonably charismatic individuals hanging out together, spouting nonsense at each other, and you're like, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's insane. You know what I mean? You know.
There is one other good thing about this script, and I'm sorry, everybody, we haven't even gotten into this. This is our preamble right now. But I actually think we're gonna do the thing that I say we're never gonna do. We are gonna speed through this because nothing happens in this movie. I know we said that about the last 17 movies. But the one thing I will say is they don't stop for breath. This movie keeps going. They're like, in this location, this thing happens. They're not dwelling. They're going to the next one. Now we're in a cave. All right, we're done with this cave bullshit. Now we're in the jungle. We're done with this jungle. Now we're in the desert. They like move. Now we're in a train and we're dressed as priests and nuns. Boom, boom, boom. Not going to dwell on it. Gonna move on. And that's the.
I say like that's the summary. I think that's the plot summary. You shouldn't have to go any further than that. That's exactly what happened in this movie. That's all people need to know. Boom, boom, boom.
You got to do a little bit.
They were priests in the train. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so it begins in the desert, and Louis Gossett Jr. Playing Leo Porter, and Chuck Norris playing Max Donegan, which is like the perfect Chuck Norris name.
It's like porn name.
Yeah,
it's
Max
like
Donegan.
Lance Dickington.
They
How did he come up with this fucking name?
But they're in a Jeep driving through the desert, just blasting dunes and going around. And then there are a bunch of like bandits chasing after them.
Like Arabs, like in Mexico or something. But they're
like,
Arabs.
it's very unclear who these people are, where they are.
Very unclear.
But these bandits are in dune buggies, and they're chasing Chuck Norris and Lou Gossett Jr. And Chuck and Lou, they are not very concerned. They're like, well, they're kind of getting
cool. Just another day.
Just
the life of Lou and Chuck.
Right.
Well, bandits are shooting at them. And another thing I like, oh, boy, howdy, were those bandits having a good time. They just really were. You guys know that they're having a grand old time.
Wait, stop for a second. Think about the life if you're a bandit. You know, it's probably boring. Most of your day is spent doing nothing. You're in the fucking desert. When you're chasing somebody, trying to kill them, you're having a great fucking time. Like, that's the best thing that happened all month, probably.
They absolutely were. Like, my favorite shot is you cut to one of the dune buggies, and like the guy who's driving the dune buggy has his gun, he's shooting, he's going, ha ha ha, and the other guy with the dune buggy holds up a grenade and like puts it in his face, like, ah. The grenade. They're having a party. They're having a bandit party.
It's a bandit party, right?
Okay, Albert just said comedic action set piece number 1. Chuck says the thing. Lou Gossett Jr. looks pained. Does not say the lethal weapon, I'm too old for this shit line, because we don't have that script. Punch, punch, kick, repeat. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good.
Astute. Yeah.
So then they crash into an oasis, and now the only clever line of the entire film, I think, gets spoken right here, which is, so they've crashed into this oasis. The Jeep is sinking in the water, and Lou Gossett Jr. says, we've been driving around 500 miles of desert, and we just happened to hit the water. And Chuck, very matter of fact, goes, what are the odds of that? All right, I don't know.
What are the odds of that?
I thought it was funny. They get captured by the bandits.
The Mexican Arabs.
The Mexican Arabs. They then get strung up onto the ground on stakes, and then
they're like crucified to the ground.
Yeah.
To stakes.
They were like some kind of militia almost or something.
Weirdest thing to do.
I don't know. But
it gets weirder. It gets weirder when, after they're crucified with the stakes in the ground in the desert, they're given a Perrier bottle for some reason.
Yeah. Okay. No,
I don't even.
I will explain this.
Oh, you will. Okay.
This is one of the bits of dialogue I am going to quote because it's important for the weirdest shit ending of the film. So, Chuck is on the ground, and Louis Gossett Jr. looks up, and he says, "Oh, it's the general, not him again."
So wait, I got to stop you there
Yeah.
because this is when you're like the thing for me is like I'm 47, I think. I might be 48. I don't know. I'm 47 or 48, or I'm in my later 40s. But I've been around for a while, and the thing that I know is we keep living in times, and right now we're living in like a woke era.
Sure.
We're very sensitive of racial injustices and those sort of things. So when you watch a movie from the 80s, you're noticing some fucking crazy shit.
Yeah.
So what was hitting me over the head like a fucking Buick was the general was coming, and they start playing like this, Chinese, like Asian, like, and then he gets there, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be an Arab because the bandits are Arab. It's an Asian guy.
Yeah, and he's bald, and he's got this scar down his eye, and
he was like,
see, this movie is woker than you think. See, because they didn't just have some random Arab terrorist guy, and that would have been the boring, lazy 80s thing to do. They had a random East Asian guy called the General. That's progressive.
Well, I don't know if they get points for that, but he is a live action of like some cartoon Asian stereotype, like Kung Fu-y or like some.
Now, can we say this? If they got points for putting a different racial caricature,
I'm not giving him any points.
In charge of their other racial characters.
No, that's Jules.
No, those points are going to be deducted very soon.
Jules supports all this. I don't. Just for the record.
Now, Chuck turns to Louis Gossett Jr. and says, "Watch, he's going to come over here and he's going to say something like, oh, my friends, we meet again." And then the general says, "Hello, my friends, we meet again." All right. Then there's villain preamble torture. You're going to bake in the sun. I'm going to leave this bottle of water for you here to die. Goodbye, my friends. If you need anything, just scream. And then they drive away in the dune buggies. And Chuck Norris gets out of this in like 30 seconds. Like, breaks the ropes, unties Lou Gossett Jr., and then they leave. And then they go to a town with a bar. See, I am speeding this. They go to a town with a bar. They get into a little bit of trouble in the bar. And there is a hot white chick. Hot white chick in this town, played by Melody Anderson, who is playing Patricia Goodwin, who is looking for bounty hunters, bodyguards. What is she looking for? She just goes.
I don't know. She walked into that
sketchy
bar.
dudes.
Yeah, she goes to the bar. She goes to the bar and says, "I need some help. I need brave men, men who don't fear danger and aren't too smart." Any little bit of credit I will give. Unlike Steven Seagal, Chuck is not afraid to.
And the bartender responded, "Well, Chuck Norris is a Trump supporter."
I specifically did not search Chuck Norris' political affiliation. I made the choice to not do that today.
And I spent hours on it.
No.
Yes. Albert pointed out that she was the regular Earth woman in Flash Gordon.
Whoa.
And she was also the co-star of Manimal.
Oh, really?
Yes.
This film has got some pedigree to it. Right?
But when you search her name, what's hilarious is you search her name and you think, like, who the hell is Melody Anderson? Why do I recognize her? Her picture pops up, and she's old, and it says Canadian social worker, because that's what she is. She gave up on all this nonsense and decided to become a Canadian
so her life
worker
is one of those clickbait
Chuck
articles.
Norris should have done that too.
Yes.
Yeah. So she saved
Norris, Canadian social worker.
Her life is one of those clickbait articles of actors who are quit acting and are doing other jobs now.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, At this point, she goes to the bar. She says, I need some help. They say, well, Chuck Norris and Lou Gossett Jr. are good. Go and tell them I say you're good. And she goes to them and she says, the bartender says I'm good. And they say, good enough for us. And then does she say right now that she's a psychic? Or does that just come up later?
I don't know.
That was really vague in the script.
Yeah. So what she said,
really, yeah,
it's really weird. But she goes to Chuck and Lou and she says, I know where there is treasure. It might be dangerous, and we might have to fight a cyclops.
So I know you guys haven't been like in the dating pool too recently, but I have. But like when you meet a girl like that, you get the fuck out. Like anyone who's like into psychic and like new age shit, because they're screaming at you. They're crazy. But go ahead.
Okay. But Patricia is the exception to the rule because she's the real deal, John. She's the real deal.
Oh, is she?
She does. She is. She knows where that there's going to be some treasure, and she knows that they will have to fight a cyclops.
Yeah. I know where the treasure is.
There you go. So Louis Gossett Jr. and Chuck Norris, first of all, they've just bellyached about how they don't want to do this anymore. All of this tomb raiding and fighting, they don't want to do it anymore. They're done. But but Patricia comes around. They're like, well, we're game. All right. So now we're off to the races, and here's where I'm going to skip a bunch of bullshit. Okay. Oh, in the bar, don't they start getting shot at by spear guns? Does this happen in the bar right now?
What? Spear guns?
Yeah, they start getting attacked by spear guns. Or
He killed Coyote
with the dagger on the altar. She didn't say the magic words, but come on. I mean, that's got to be enough, right?
Well, then we got the sequel right there, so we can get the rights. So, yeah.
All right, everybody. Next film we're doing, Firewalker 2, Into the Fire.
Electric Boogaloo.
I remember she's a social worker, so it won't cost much to get her in the movie.
She's a social worker who counsels people who had to act in bad movies.
Yeah, that's right.
That's God's work right there. So everybody thoughts, like, I mean, again, like this movie was fucking terrible, but I had a good time watching it. Like going back to like what you were saying about how Chuck, like the appeal of watching it is that he's not, like, there's no acting going on here. Like he's not playing a character. He's just Chuck. He's just a guy trying to get through the pages, man, and have a good time.
When he does fight, you don't see he is so different than like just regular fighters in any other action movie. He's so fucking perfect at kicking and punching, and it's like the fuck is that? It's like that's one of the best things about Texas Walker Ranger. He's like, well, I'm a Texas. He doesn't look like he's from fucking Texas. First of all, I'm Walker Texas Ranger, and then he's got to beat up some cowboys, and he does these masterful fucking like kung fu moves or something, and it's crazy. But that's Chuck Norris.
This comes to I remember an interview with Jet Li on, I think it was Conan O'Brien. Yeah, it had to be on Conan. And Jet Li had been in films, especially Hong Kong, since he was 3 years old. But like, he had just started doing like some more American action movies, and he doesn't speak much English. And Conan is saying to him, so like, all right, was this guy good? Like Bruce Lee was a good martial artist. So yes, he was good. Is Jackie Chan? Oh, Jackie Chan is good. Van Damme? Oh, he's okay. Steven Seagal? Chuck Norris? Very good. He is very, very good. And Conan's like, whoa, shit! I did not see that coming. And I say this is the most toned down fight choreography I think you're ever going to find with Chuck Norris, and it's still compelling. I mean, he's good at what he fucking does. I liked seeing Lou Gossett Jr. I do like the way it moves. That it doesn't dwell on any specific place. It keeps going.
You like this movie? You like this,
dude? But I didn't hate watching it. I hated.
What's the difference?
No.
All right. I know. I pick on you a lot. I'm sorry.
So, like,
go
but
on.
guys, I mean, did you hate watching this movie? Was this a dead weekend for you? What was your experience?
Yeah, for a Jason movie, this was fucking Lawrence of Arabia. This was Blade Runner for fucking for Jason. Jason usually this is what Jason does. He goes back to when he was like 8. And he remembers like these shitty movies that were just playing on fucking Showtime during the day that they made for $2,000 or whatever, and he chooses that. And we lucked out this week. Because it was lost media. We couldn't find it. It wasn't even on the internet. But I am happy with this. It's like, we're into like maybe show 24, 25. We haven't done one Chuck Norris film. So bravo. Yeah. Jason, you've exceeded my expectations.
The reason why you like this one and from me so much is because I had set the bar so low to begin with.
Yeah.
This is the highest budget movie you did, and it was only maybe $20,000.
So
I think a Blair Witch Project cost more than.
Let's give credit to this crew. This crew did a giant movie for $8 million.
$8 million? That's how much.
This is huge.
Yeah,
and
you got to remember.
This is just like this is the biggest cheap movie I've ever seen, and I think they pull it off. You know what I mean?
They had lots of location, vehicles, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
you got to remember the era. Like, you would go to the movie and you would watch this. This was
totally.
This would be in the movie theater for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm certain. No. I was about to say that I'm certain I rented this movie, but as we know from this podcast, I generally know when I did, and I didn't. I've never seen this movie before. But you're right. This was a legitimate in the movie theater movie, and any person would have walked in and seen it. Jules, what did you think? So yeah, I mean, crew.
That's my main thing. I think the crew did a great job. It only cost $8 million. They made 12, apparently, so it went okay.
Hey.
But I mean, yeah, I think it's that's the one thing that stuck out to me was the fact that this was the biggest cheap movie I've ever seen, and I found it charming in that particular regard.
For me, it was simply that I enjoyed parts of the adventure, and I just kind of liked watching Chuck and Lou pal around. That was kind of fun, and that's really all Lou Gossett Jr. because I mean he's doing the heavy lifting in these scenes. Any comedy that's being squeezed from this script is all Louis Gossett Jr.
But it confirmed for me that Chuck Norris should never be in a leading role where he's not doing anything other than 75% of the movie he's like just kicking ass in bars.
And that goes to my thing about the movie. It was like whatever, but there was the one awesome bar scene where he kicked everyone's ass. And
but that's why he should be the sidekick, because Louis Gossett Jr. is a good actor and he can he deliver dialogue. And why don't you have him doing that? And then, hey, here's my sidekick.
You'd have to figure someone like Chuck Norris is going to be a big ego.
Who's just kicking it. He's my bodyguard and he's beating everyone. That would be a great movie, right?
I bet it would, but I would think that Chuck Norris would be a big ego and he has to star in it,
Well, this is also the racist 80s. They wouldn't have a black guy.
That's the other point.
Other than Action Jackson, that might be the only one. But he didn't have like a white sidekick.
Wasn't Vanity 6 in that?
In Action Jackson, I couldn't imagine how they wouldn't be.
So, but John, I gotta say, man, that's a really great movie that you just pitched. If we can,
go back in time.
Good ideas. You know what? You hang around with me, and just good ideas just fucking.
Let's go to the Elseworlds. Let's go to the Elseworlds Wayback Machine for a second. We're pitching Golan and Globus this film. Louis Gossett Jr. is a Alan Quatermain, Indiana Jones type.
Yes, right.
He's suave. He's hilarious. The ladies love him. He's getting
And
in the
his
scrapes,
bodyguard Chuck, right?
and his bodyguard is this grizzled.
He doesn't talk much. He's a quiet type, strong type, quiet type. But he does talking with his fists.
Yeah, he's always embarrassed by the
His
schemes.
name's Kato.
Yeah, he's always embarrassed by the schemes that his boss, Lou Diamond. Sorry. Louis
you're recasting them.
When Louis Gossett Jr. gets himself into too much trouble, White Kato is gonna kick his way out of it.
White Kato like comes in and starts talking with his fists. Wouldn't that be a great fucking movie? That would be awesome. And
I want to watch that movie right now.
And Louis Gossett Jr. is fucking all these women. I mean, come on, man. It writes itself, right?
All right.
It writes itself.
That scene by the river when Chuck makes out with Patricia.
Yeah.
Do you think that like? And I said there was no sexual chemistry. Put Patricia and Louis Gossett Jr. there. What kind of? You couldn't cut that tension with a knife.
Like he is sexual. He is a sexual magnet. Where fucking there is not less of a sexual being on the Milky Way than Chuck Norris. He's just a fucking mustache with like no personality, and there's nothing sexual about him. And women, like, he can do all the fucking karate he wants. Women don't fucking want anything to do with this guy.
How old was Chuck when they made this movie?
I don't know, but he's 81 now. So he's got to be in his 40s then, right?
Yes.
Or late 30s. I don't know.
So here we are, Jason. Once again, John always fears you, but I wait for your turn. Like, thank you for bringing this film to us. I had a good time, and I'm very, very fearful because I see the storm clouds gathering.
Oh, it's about to storm
because it's John's turn this week.
And when it's my turn, I want to introduce like a new theme, like that I started last week, where we do John's Sophie choice. John's
Can it not be mine?
No, we can go around. So, I guess we'll go to Jules, and I'll give him a Sophie's choice. So I won't.
Wait! Didn't Jules already do the Sophie's choice last time? Isn't that how we got Neil Breen?
No. Oh, yeah, he probably did Neil Breen. So, okay, yeah, that's fair. I don't think I've done it with Jason. Jason, I'll give you a choice of 3. I'll be more generous than I did with the other guys. Okay. You have a choice between Battlefield Earth.
Oh, fuck you. He loves everything science fiction.
That's probably the one you're gonna pick. I'll tell you right now.
Battlefield Earth.
Battlefield Earth is one of them. The second one is Sleep by Andy Warhol. Are you anyone familiar with that?
Oh, no. Wait.
Yeah.
No, art films don't count.
Fuck you. I do what I want. It's a film and it counts. Sleep by Andy Warhol is 6 hours and something minutes of a guy sleeping. And I will find out if you didn't watch the whole 6
You couldn't
hours.
pick the Empire State Building one? That was.
Yeah, I could have, but that's not as long as this one. This one's 6 hours.
Well, the podcast about that would only last 5 minutes. It'd be like a guy with.
I really want to see what happened. That's kind of my.
I'd like everyone to know that in film school we watched the Empire State Building, Andy Warhol film, the whole thing. We watched it. So in any case,
it's important to know what not to do.
Yeah, Andy Warhol Sleep.
Okay, so Andy Warhol Sleep, Battlefield Earth, and then you get a third choice, and this is one more choice you got than Jules or Ian got. So you got 3. They got
privileged.
2. The third one, we're going back to the well. and we're going to do Fireproof, Kirk Cameron's Fireproof. Those are your choices. Kirk
I
Cameron's
already said
Fireproof,
I wasn't doing another Kirk Cameron.
Sleep. We may not. It's up to Jason. It's not up to me. Sophie's choice. Which child do you want to keep? Or Battlefield Earth? I can't tell you how much pleasure I get from this. I'm fucking giddy. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. I'm so.
All right. I'm sorry, Ian. Out of morbid curiosity, I want to do another Kirk Cameron.
No.
All right, folks, we're going from Firewalker to Fireproof. Kirk Cameron's going to teach us some more morals.
All right, everybody. I'm going to make a statement here. I will watch this movie.
Cool.
But if there is no way to watch this movie without buying it, I'm not going to. Like, all Amazon Prime watch it, like what we did the IMDb TV, even though we know we gave him money that way. Everybody understands that, right? We watched those ads, gave Saving Christmas money. All right? So Fireproof, understand that's we will be giving him money if we watch it that way. But if there's like with other things, there's no way to do it other than like buy it on Amazon Prime, we're choosing Battlefield Earth.
I've seen Battlefield Earth. I've never seen Fireproof.
All right. John?
I think I found it right now. I think it's on Facebook. I think somebody posted it on Facebook. I'll post the link. Yeah. I already found it. We're doing it. Here it is. Here's Facebook. That's the link. Go watch it for free. We can be lectured by Kirk Cameron about how you shouldn't masturbate when you're married to porn, or you're going to go to hell. And oh
my God!
Double entendre here. He's a fireman, and he's putting out fires, but there's also a fire in his marriage.
You know what?
All the training as a fireman just never prepared him for.
You know why this is happening right now?
Because Jason picked it. I didn't pick it.
It's because crypto took all your money. And
yeah, that's true.
The only way you can lash out at the world.
That's true. That's true.
You can punish us. It's not going to get your Dogecoin back.
But here we are. I mean, Dogecoin could still go up, but Fireproof is forever. I don't know if that makes any sense. But
no.
We're just doing the whole freaking Kirk Cameron. Like, I mean, we're doing the whole. Like, we only have a few more movies, and I think we should bang them all out, guys. I think we should do Left Behind, and then we've only got
Left Behind is actually the one Kirk Cameron I'm the most curious about. And separate from the podcast, I might watch it just for a good laugh.
Don't do it because John will just make you watch
or just pick it and we can all watch it. Just pick it.
So
I don't know if 3 Kirk Camerons would podcast for our audience.
You guys must love him because Ian picked one and you picked the other. I didn't pick any. I'll watch
Fireproof
for 6 hours if it were up to me.
Next week is Fireproof. Jason, I rescind my thanks for the movie that we had this week.
Can I make a deal here? I'll give you guys an out. If Dogecoin goes up to 45 cents within 6 days, I will do. I'll tell you. I'll do a movie that would. I'll do Garbage Pail Kids. Would everyone like that as an alternative? If Dogecoin goes up to 45 cents by next Tuesday,
yes,
we'll watch Garbage Pail Kids.
Okay.
That's fair. All right.
I've never been.
You better hope Elon Musk tweets that shit.
I've never been more
Mhm.
depressed at the end of a podcast than this. This is I feel like a family member has died, and that family member is my time and joy. All right, with that, I'm your host, Ian Alley Seals. Thank you for joining us again for another episode of A Dangerous Podcast. Jules, Jason, John.
Keep Hartford shitty.
That's
my
right.
sign out. You like that?
Have a good night, guys.
Keep Hartford shitty.
How do I get out of this thing?
Hashtag keep Hartford shitty.